what is the weather going to look like across Santa's routes this year? Well, we're only, like 6 hours away or something like that until Santa takes off, maybe more like 5 hours. And what is it going to be like? Well, this is my forecast brought to you by yours truly. So let's start over in Auckland, New Zealand. What is that going to look like? Well, Santa should get there around 12:45 local time out towards Auckland, New Zealand, give or take 15 minutes. It should be some isolated drizzle at that time. Otherwise, lots of dry areas, mostly cloudy, 65 to about 70 degrees, which is approximately 20 degrees, give or take, Celsius. Getting over to Sydney, Australia, Santa's getting there a lot later compared to New Zealand, more like 2:30, give or take, local time out that way. And there could actually be a few thunderstorms actually out that way. Otherwise, partly cloudy, 65 to 70 degrees Fahrenheit, which is roughly the same temperature as New Zealand, around 20 degrees Celsius. Over in South Korea, ETA is about 11:30, give or take, out that way. Partly cloudy, dry, but cold. We're talking 24 to 28 degrees Fahrenheit, which is roughly negative 5 degrees Celsius. Oh, Shanghai, China, ETA around 10:45, give or take. At that time, it's going to be completely clear, no cloud in the sky, between about 30 to 35 Fahrenheit, which is about 0 degrees Celsius, basically freezing. And out towards Singapore, ETA is about 11:45 p.m., give or take, mostly cloudy. We have a possibility of seeing severe thunderstorms out towards Singapore about the time that Santa will be getting there, so hope he can take cover from the possibility from that thunder and lightning. But it's going to be warm. We're talking 75 to 80 degrees, even when these storms could be in the vicinity, which is around 25 degrees Celsius. Dubai, out towards the United Arab Emirates, ETA around 9:45, give or take, partly cloudy, completely dry, 70 to about 75 degrees out that way Fahrenheit, which is about 23 degrees Celsius. Out towards Athens, Greece, ETA around 10 p.m., give or take, completely clear, no cloud in the sky, dry, about 50 to 55 degrees Fahrenheit, which is about 12 degrees Celsius. Rome, Italy, we're going to see a lot of cloud cover, but it should remain dry at around 10:30, give or take, local time is when Santa should get there, with a temperature about 50 to 55 degrees, which is roughly 12 degrees Celsius, give or take. Berlin, Germany, it's not going to be overly wet, but it will be off and on with that rain, mostly cloudy skies, showers around the same temperature as the last location, about 50 to 55 Fahrenheit. Around 11 p.m., give or take, is when we'll see that weather and when Santa could be in the area. Madrid, Spain, ETA is around a quarter to midnight, give or take, mostly clear out that way, 35 to about 40 Fahrenheit, which is roughly 3 degrees Celsius, give or take. London, England, I'm expecting Santa to get there around 11:45 p.m., give or take. Mostly cloudy skies, dry conditions, but you guys will be seeing low to mid 50s for those temperatures, at least in Fahrenheit, which is around 12 degrees Celsius. Dublin, Ireland, could be slightly later, closer to midnight, give or take, maybe a little bit earlier, we'll see, maybe a little bit later. An isolated shower out that way, so it's possible you guys see a little bit of drizzle or light rain. Otherwise, mostly dry conditions, but definitely I would think there's a better chance to see a little bit of rain in Ireland versus over in the UK. Partly cloudy skies, about 45 to 50, which is about 5 degrees colder than what we're going to be seeing in London, which in Celsius is around 10 degrees. Rio de Janeiro, Brazil, ETA, give or take, Santa should be around there 10 p.m.-ish. Lots of dry time, partly cloudy skies, but there could be a few thunderstorms around. Also mild out that way. We're talking 75 to about 80 degrees Fahrenheit with a approximate in Celsius around 25. And Greenland, this was a hard one to come up with because the temperature in Greenland, depending on where you are across the region, it differs from like 50, 60, 70, 80 degrees. I mean, it's insane. I saw like central Greenland will be socked into just overcast skies with a temperature of negative 60 Fahrenheit, but because I wanted to kind of keep it to where Santa could deliver, and there's a couple locations when you just go inland that's actually much warmer than this. I mean, much closer to just freezing, but because the STSS satellite tracks him over Greenland, I wanted to pick that specific location to show what the weather could be like, because it's a little bit more extreme out that way. We're talking partly cloudy and dry, but negative 25 to negative 30 Fahrenheit, which is roughly negative 33 Celsius. So that's going to be absolutely cold out that way. But like I said, if Santa were to deliver a little further north, we could be seeing upwards of negative 60 to negative 70 degrees Fahrenheit, which is probably somewhere around negative 70 to 80 Celsius. Cape Cod is another surveillance system that tracks Santa with the radar. It's based out in an island of Massachusetts, and although that should be around 9:15-ish local time on the East Coast for Massachusetts, he most likely won't deliver to the state of Massachusetts until probably about an hour later or something like that. I just want to be aware that this satellite could track him near Massachusetts, his first sighting around 9:15, give or take. And it's going to be mostly cloudy out that way. Could be a little bit foggy, maybe a few showers. If the fog is thick enough, we could see a little bit of light rain. Otherwise, 40 to 45 degrees Fahrenheit, which is roughly 7 degrees Celsius. Washington, D.C., see, this is when he's really delivering in the States. By that point, he gets up to Washington at around 10:30, give or take, is my best guess. Partly cloudy skies, dry, but 40 to 45 degrees Fahrenheit, which is roughly 7 degrees Celsius. Same exact weather in New York, New York. But he should get there about 15 minutes later, I would guess around 10:45, give or take. Toronto, Canada is going to see a little bit more clouds out that way, and a little colder, 35 to about 40 degrees Celsius, which is roughly 35 to 40 Fahrenheit is what I meant, which is roughly 3 degrees Celsius, around 11:15, give or take. Indianapolis, Indiana, we're talking 11:30, give or take. Again, all these intervals are probably within 15 to 30 minutes of what could happen. Out that way at that time, it's going to be partly cloudy and dry, 45 to about 50 degrees Fahrenheit, with a rough estimation in Celsius of 10. New Orleans, Louisiana, we're talking around 11:15 p.m., give or take. Mostly cloudy skies, about much warmer actually, 60 to 65 degrees. Yeah, 11:15 at night in Louisiana, which is roughly 17 degrees Celsius, but we're going to see more clouds out that way. Less clouds in Chicago. But there will still be a few in the picture. By about 11:30 local time is when he should roughly get to that area with the temperature about 45 to 50 Fahrenheit, which is roughly 10 degrees Celsius. Houston, Texas, we're talking low to mid 60s in Fahrenheit for temperatures, as Santa should deliver somewhere around 12:15, give or take, in the morning. Early on Christmas. Mostly clear skies, though, just a few clouds in the sky. Otherwise, we're seeing abundantly clear conditions, as the temperature in Celsius could be around 17 degrees. Colorado Springs, Colorado, which is where NORAD is headquartered. I would guess he would get there close to midnight, maybe a quarter to midnight, give or take. Although we're seeing mostly dry conditions at this time when Santa delivers in Colorado Springs, it's possible we see a few snowflakes, especially into those higher elevations out towards more of those mountainous areas, even higher than Colorado Springs. But can't rule out maybe a few snowflakes, although I'm not expecting a white Christmas, as it probably won't stick for most of you, but just keep an eye on a few snowflakes out there. Cold, though, 15 to 20 degrees Fahrenheit, which is roughly around negative 8 degrees Celsius. San Francisco, California, we bumped that temperature up a little bit, low to mid 50s, as Santa should deliver somewhere around midnight with partly cloudy skies, though. Dry conditions, we're talking around 12 degrees Celsius, give or take. Seattle, Washington, which is just a state above for me, where I am at in Oregon. This is pretty typical of Seattle, to see isolated drizzle, mostly cloudy skies, low to mid 40s. It's pretty typical for this time of year, which is roughly around 7 degrees Celsius. And Santa should get there at around 12:15, give or take a little bit, with that weather being presented at that time. Out towards Anchorage, Alaska, it's actually going to be pretty chilly. Santa could get there around 11:30, give or take local time snow showers, mostly cloudy skies. So out that way, we'll definitely be seeing a white Christmas with those temperatures between about 10 to 15 degrees Fahrenheit, which is roughly 12 degrees Celsius, give or take. And finally, wrapping up in Honolulu, Hawaii at around 11:30 p.m. local time, give or take. It's going to be pretty warm out there, completely dry. Not a whole lot of clouds, but there definitely will be some temperatures into low to mid 70s Fahrenheit, which is roughly around 23 degrees Celsius. So that is what I expect for various cities across the world as Santa delivers to those locations. Be sure to tune in across the next 30 hours as we continue to track Santa very soon as he travels throughout the entire world. But overall, I'm expecting this season to be more mild. I mean, we're looking at that for a lot of you across the world as Santa delivers, which is definitely has its pros and cons, but at least Santa won't be dealing with too much extreme weather, other than some of those stormy areas out towards Singapore and possibly Brazil. But other than that, he should have safe travels across the world, so be sure to stick with us.